Bitcoin is still on its way up. And I know a lot of people are still in disbelief, does not think that Bitcoin can go up further from here. But today I'm going to talk about the exact point that Bitcoin will start breaking out. Mr. Wonderful is still doing interviews and talking about and kind of spreading fear about how other crypto exchanges will melt down to zero. It will 100% happen, which I do agree with over time. But as for exchanges that may be going under in 2023, I don't see a whole lot of exchanges doing that. Now, there may be some companies in the crypto that could be doing it, but overall, I think the contagion from what we have seen has pretty much been limited. Now, the one asterisk I would say to worry about is DCG and what they're going to do with Genesis and Grayscale, right? But I don't think they're in a position where they're just going to be absolutely wrecked and close doors and that's it. I think they will find a way to get out of it. However, I still have not heard Kevin O'Leary say that SBF did anything wrong. Still have not heard that. There's just something about this relationship there between Mr. Wonderful and SBF. He will back him till the end, to the ends of the earth. Not quite sure why, but it is what it is. All right. So outside of those things, what's going on with Bitcoin, right? So still a lot of people trying to guess what's going on with Bitcoin. Is this really a recovery? Is this really a turning point from bottom, or is just a sucker's rally, right? And what's also no joke is Anthony Scaramucci says SBF is he has a spot for him in the ninth circle of hell. I don't know what that means exactly, but the mooch is not a fan of SBF. If you look at the market cycle, is this disbelief? I do believe so. I think that we have come up from bottom, and we have been angry. We have, first of all, capitulated. We were angry and also in depression for quite some time. And now that things are coming up, we're kind of in that disbelief stage. But eventually, as we cross this important level that I'll get to in a little bit, we will get out of it and move into hope and then optimism. And that's when FOMO really starts building, right? And then we go all the way up to euphoria. And that will probably be in 2025. So we got some years to go. But that's where I think we are right now, in disbelief, and we will move past it. But in the meantime, here's some models from Willy Woo, who is an analyst, a Bitcoin analyst, and he has some of his own models. Here's one that's called CVDD. It's a way to measure basically the long-term holders transfer to short-term holders or vice versa, something like that. I don't quite understand it, but it does look pretty good though in terms of measuring bottoms. It looks like a moving indicator, right? A moving average, but you could see this has been true all the way back since the beginning. You could see the bottom point in 2012, and then this also hit somewhere around 2015. Then it hit and stood there for a while in 2018, 2019, and guess where we are right now? We have hit that point in 2021, 2022, and now we are flipping above. So this is a pretty accurate bottom indicator. I would say 100%, right? So this is looking pretty darn good. And here's one measuring cost basis of short-term and long-term holders. Again, you could see very similar to previous drawdowns, previous bottoms. And here's a macro index. Well, my camera's cutting this off, but you guys can see right there, right? So again, all these models are looking pretty darn good. And then from a trading perspective, indicator perspective, you look at, this is the 2-week MACD. So MACD has been showing a turnaround for quite some time because it's been very, very red, very down. Bitcoin has been very down, right? And this, in fact, according to Stock Money Lizard, is the longest bearish 2-week MACD period in history, and it just concluded. We are now flipping above. Whenever MACD flips above, that's always a good thing, right? But we just gone through the longest drawdown ever for Bitcoin in any cycle. We broke down longer than any other cycle ever in history. So think about that. Think about how oversold we are. And it was probably prolonged because the FTX collapsed. Without it, we were around the same mark right now, like 20, 21,000. We were moving back up, and then we went down for another few months. And that's probably the reason why we went through the longest drawdown ever, because of FTX. But now we're past that, right? And of course, you look at where we are versus the next halving, which plays a crucial role in how Bitcoin moves, right? We're on track, even though we got delayed a little bit because of FTX, right? But now we're past that. We're breaking higher. So very, very good. Here's also one that shows us breaking above the 100 EMA. We have a lot of these, right? A lot of these. I mean, there's just so much that shows, so much data, I should say, models and indicators and everything else, charts that show that we are recovering up from bottom and we are itching to move higher. Now, I didn't even talk about the breakout point, right? So looking at moving averages, there is one that most people look at. If you discount everything else, there's one major level that people look at, and I'm going to bring it up right here, and that is this white line, and that is the 200 weekly moving average. This is on the weekly scale, okay? And you could see this is the support level, now turned resistance. That is absolutely huge, because if you look at this, it has been basically the bottom point for Bitcoin. Going back, if I had a chart that went back more, it would show the same thing, going all the way back to even previous cycles. But you could see back in 2018, when Bitcoin fell to 3,000, people thought that it was going to go lower, that it might have gone to 1,000. There's talks about hyperwave going to 1,000 back then, right? And maybe even below 1,000 to 800 or something. But no, Bitcoin didn't. It held at 3,000 and it stood there for a while and then recovered, right?